You talk about the practical political work of the next few years. Uh, Tell us what's involved in that, because this is, I mean, your number two and number three address the sort of the thing I've been worrying about is how do you and can you both push back on right wing neoliberal policies? Are the strategies and tactics that you use in that, do they then become, do they then in some way enhance the chances of an assault on our constitutional democracy? I mean, how do you both, like, not just how do you chew gum and walk at the same time, but does chewing gum actually make it even that much harder to walk?
Okay, that's not an image I have immediate recognition of, but you're right. This is a we have two tasks um, in the next years, and they may not be entirely compatible because we need to frame a left response to 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 Trumpism and to the far right Republican Party, the new Republican Party, which is much farther to the right than the old Republican Party was. So we need to frame a specifically left response. And what I mean by that is that when we defend Obamacare, we should do it in a way that points to a better health care system than Obamacare. Our critique shouldn't just be a defense of the status quo. It should also be a critique of the status quo, even while we are defending what has been achieved. And at the same time, as we are speaking in our own language as leftists, we have to work with anybody who is prepared to defend constitutional liberty, because I think that is going to come under attack in the next 4 years, and we we need to find allies, and there are liberal and conservative people committed to the U.S. Constitution and to the civil liberties and civil rights that it guarantees. So we need to work with them at the same time as we are elaborating a specific left position. We need to build on the Bernie Sanders campaign, Black Lives Matter, the minimum wage campaign, whatever is left of Occupy. We need to build on all of that in a specifically left way, and at the same time, we need to cooperate with anyone who is prepared to defend constitutional liberty.
I mean, I guess my fear is that these are not these two tasks are not just incompatible, but they have an inverse proportion to them in terms of their efficacy. That in attempting for instance, let's just take the Obamacare situation, right? I mean, it's very hard right at this moment to tell where Trump is in relationship to the Republicans, and even where the Republicans themselves are, because I think they're finding out that this is the classic dog chasing the car, and banging into it on some level. But for the sake of this, if Donald Trump, if there can be a cleave between Donald Trump and the Republicans, whereas where Bernie Sanders gets up there and says, like, I agree with Donald Trump, there's a problem with Obamacare, let's just Medicare for all, and this was to sort of open up this divide. I don't know where this lands, but this creates some type of cleave between Trump and the Republicans in Congress. they don't end up repealing Obamacare. Trump becomes far more popular, and the Republicans, because he's willing to blame them, at least in this level. And suddenly we're looking at a guy who still probably has the agenda of attacking constitutional democracy. I don't know if he would phrase it that way, but who's now at 60% popularity. I mean,
right. That is exactly the dilemma I was trying to describe when I said that right-wing populists can also exploit the current situation, and Trump's populism may bring him into conflicts with the Republican Party as it is now. The Republican Party as the representative of neoliberalism in extremity, and that's a conflict. There will then be tactical decisions for us as to how we relate to that conflict, and you're right. Those tactical decisions are going to be fraught, difficult, and I since I can't, I have very little sense of where Trump actually stands and how much of a president he's going to be, and how much he's just going to allow congressional Republicans or his vice president to shape the program of the next 4 years. If there are internal conflicts, we will look for ways of exploiting them, and there will be dangers in that. But that's also a reason for sustaining on the side, so to speak, a consistently left position, which is independent of the tactics that we adopt if the opportunities arise to adopt them.
And so, so our task is both to ultimately to promote a leftist vision and to accept the fact there may be times where we're supportive of David Frum. I mean, for lack of a better example, or for that matter, I don't know. I mean, Al Frum, any of the Frums. Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Subscribe.